Yo, what's up guys, it's Shady here, and today we're here with our week 3 game of the APA Academy Season 2. This week we're going up against Coach Zombie and his Victoria Victinis. Be sure to check him out. His YouTube, Twitter, all that will be in the description below, as well as his on screen and his player card. As well as all the other coaches in the APA Academy. All of them will be down in the description as always, so make sure all of them of course produce Pokemon content. So let me check out their videos. But yeah, like I said, we're going up against Zombie this week. I just hop right into the matchup and what we decided to bring. Should be on screen here. But we had the Lugia, the Ash Greninja, Mega Charizard X, Florges, Milotic, Snorlax, Hitmontop, Registeel, Rotom, Rhydon, Gourgeist, and the Azelf. With our Z-Mons being Azelf, Gourgeist, and Rotom. Whereas Zombie, who is playing for the Diet Tights, or that's not what they're called, I do not remember what the team name is. It's what is it? It's the Tie-Dyes, that's what it is. Diet Tight being the captain. He has Marshadow, Celesteela, Gliscor, Suicune, Alolan, Ninetales, Latios, Mega Tyranitar, Quillfish, Sceptile, Raichu, Licky, and the Blacephalon, with the Z-Mons being Latios, Blacephalon, and Raichu. So he has a pretty scary team, especially because he opted to bring, or only drafts one Uber instead of two. So, he was able to afford a lot more higher tier Mons compared to most teams. He has Gliscor, Suicune, Alolan, Ninetales, Lati, Megatitar, Blacephalon, like he has a lot, and then even his lower tier Mons are pretty decent, Licky, Raichu, and Quillfish. Not a big fan of Sceptile, that's just me personally, but it is still there of course. So we're going to go over the team that we decided to bring against him. We have our Ash Greninja, which is just an extra built set, with Hydro, Dark Pulse, Water Shuriken, Grass Knot, Hydro obviously for our main stab, Dark Pulse for our other stab, Water Shuriken for initiative, and Grass Knot to hit his Suicune, 2 KO'd if we were in Ash Greninja form. So that's good. We have a DD Charizard again with Dragon Claw, Thunder Punch, Roost, and Dragon Dance. Obviously just Dragon Claw for our main stab, and then Thunder Punch for the Celesteela, the Suicune, and that's about it. Dragon Claw, Thunder Punch did a really good number on his team, so I thought that might be nice. I gambled on Brick Break, I was thinking about it, but I did decide that the two stabs we have, or the two moves we had, would be fine. Next we have a Fizdef Milotic with Scald, Haze, Rest Talk. Obviously Scald is for our main stab, Haze to stop his setup because he has a lot of setup potential, whether it be bulk up Marshadow, SD Glist, or if you really want to do that, Suicune with Calm Mind, Lati with Calm Mind, T-Tar with DD, Sceptile if you wanted to SD, and Blacephalon if you got some Beast Boost or Calm Minds up. All could be potential options for him. So yeah, and then just Rest Talk so that we can keep our Marwhistle activated, and it helped us take hits from that Marshadow a little bit better and give us more chances to get that Burning Scald, and we wouldn't have to deal with getting Toxic. So that's why I decided to do that. Next we have our Rotom. It's a debut this season with Kasib Berry for hopefully lore for that Marshadow with Thunderbolt, Hex, Willow, and Defog. Thunderbolt obviously to kind of help deal with that Celesteela. I really wanted to hurt it. Hex, because we do have the Willow, of course, in case we can maybe catch the Megatitar as a DDs or something like that, or once again the Marshadow, which is what I was really hoping to catch. Hex, because once I get the burn on something it really hurts, or even the Gliscor does not appreciate the Hex because it'll be Poison Heal, Toxic, and then Defog to get rocks off our side. Next we have Spidef Florges with Moonblast, Worry Seed, Wish, and Protect. Obviously Wish, Protect to keep yourself healthy and our entire team healthy. Moonblast for our main stab, and Worry Seed for the Suicune, because in case you don't know how Worry Seed works, it gives the opponent's Mon the ability Insomnia, so he can't get put to sleep, so he can't quick rest anymore. So I was hoping that would be nice. Has some fun tech. And lastly, we have a Fizdef Registeel to help deal with the Megatitar. with the Chapel Berry for the Marshadow, with Seismic Toss, Brick Break, Thunder Wave, and the Stealth Rock. Stealth Rock obviously just to get them up against his team. Thunder Wave to maybe get the pair off on the Marshadow. I wanted to status that Marshadow. I thought that'd help me deal with it a lot. Or Thunder Wave in the Mega T-Tar so that it DDing would be a bit more difficult. Seismic Top obviously so we can get the damage off, and Brick Break for Mega T-Tar, and so that we can get screens off the field from that alone Ninetales. So yeah. Okay, well, let's get into the 6 that he decided to bring. Now that you know my team, he decided to bring Licky Licky, Latios, Marshadow, Celesteela, Gliscor, and the Tyranitar, the Mega Tyranitar. You know, Latios, scared of Calm Mind Sweep, Marshadow, just a threat in general. Celesteela, I mean, I really don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal when it comes. You know, I got Rotom, I got Zardax. I don't think it'll be too big of a deal. Gliscor, once again, I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal to break it. And then the Mega T-Tar will be a scare with DD. Licky Licky, definitely something I under prep for. You know, I thought maybe Cephalon might come, or Suicune, or something like that. So definitely kind of got to be scared of that. Because when going into the battle, which we're going to do right now, you know, that's something I definitely didn't really look at the calcs for when it came to Greninja. I just assumed Ash Greninja would do a lot, when in reality, it actually eats hit from Ash Greninja and Greninja, especially. So if we don't get that Battle Bond off, Licky Licky could definitely be a pretty big wall for us. Which, as funny enough, he is going to lead off with his Licky Licky against my Registeel. I decided to lead off with my Registeel in case Mega T-Tar led, and I get my rocks up for free against it. He can go out into his Gliscor here. He didn't really want to stay in, as I just decided to set up my rocks against this Gliscor. They're pretty free, and so I decided that something I could do. I believe here I decided to go out into my Mega Charizard X, because I didn't think this thing would have anything to hit me. I didn't think you were toxic this turn. No, I actually go into my loading, never mind, okay. Not really sure why I did that, when Megazord X was really free, but you know, whatever. Here's gonna click Knock though, which is kind of what I thought he might do. Good middle ground play, especially for my Rotom, which is why I definitely didn't want to go into Rotom. I wanted to go for the knockoff, and so I went to my Lodic. Here's gonna go into its Licky Licky, and I actually double into my Rotom now, I guess predicting a swap out into something, probably the Celesteela on my Melodic, even though Celesteela really didn't do much on my Melodic, it kind of just sat there, but you know, I'm going to assume that's what I did. It's been a while since I've played this game. So here obviously I can't see and I don't even have the Volt Switch. I'm going to go out into my Melodic because I expected the Toxic, as he actually just ended up doubling into his Latios here. And so here I'm going to go right out into my floor, just kind of scout what he wants to do. As long as he doesn't like Side Shock me, I should be fine. And he's actually going to go click Thunderbolt, and of course we are going to eat this pretty easily, not going to do too much. I'm going to get our lefties back and all that. And we're just going to click the Wish, I think. I think I still have a Wish this turn, as he goes out into his Gliscor, which I thought was an interesting switch in. Yeah, we're going to toss up the Wish. And I believe here is where I go out into my Mega Charizard X. Because, you know, I've seen the Toxic, I'm going to assume he has Earthquake and probably Roost. It's kind of his moveset. So here I am going to swap out and go out into my Megazord. I think I was just trying to count for Toxic earlier, which is why I went into my Lodic first, because I knew I could rest it off. And now that I see Rocks, I definitely don't think he has Toxic, so I think I'm fine just to stay in here. And I believe I click DD. Z here goes out into hard into his Mega T-Tar, which I thought was an interesting switch in, because I have my Rocks up, I'm able to actually KO at a +1 with Brick Break if that's what I decide to bring. And I was so close to bringing it, like I said earlier. And here is kind of where I made a slight misplay. I mean, it was just a safe play overall, but like I could have made like the big balls play and stayed in and just 2 KO'd with Dragon Claw. But I decided I'd just go out in my Registeel, which is my counter for this anyways. C is actually going to Mega Evolve himself and actually click DD, predicting my swap, which is definitely unfortunate because T-Tar +1 is definitely really scary for my team. Actually, never mind. He's gonna stone Edge this turn. It's like, well, I think he DD'd this turn. Yeah, he DD'd this turn, thinking that's not much I can do. I believe I just clicked Seismic Toss because I didn't think he would stay in, and I just want to get some clean damage off on something, probably the Celesteela. And obviously he's gonna stay in. Not like Brick would have 2 KO'd or anything, so it's not like a big deal. But here he's gonna click the low kick, and my Chopper is gonna pop here. Had I been light metal, that would have been great. I was very much considering running light metal, or I was like deciding to decide between clear body and light metal, and I didn't think he had any like obvious low kick mons. Mega Teacher was not what I thought would run it, but it makes sense against my team, like looking back afterwards. So that was unfortunate for me. I hooked the T-Wave because had I landed the T-Wave, I could have gone out into my Ash Greninja and just fired off a mean Hydro Pump. But unfortunately I miss, and that's going to be really problematic because now I'm pretty much going to have to sack by my Lodic here. He's going to click the Crunch, which I am going to eat, just barely. Had he clicked Stone Edge, that would have been a big problem. And I go for Haze. I could have clicked Scald there, or even Rest, and maybe Rest with the play, actually over Scald, or over Haze now that I'm thinking about it. But basically why I wanted to get the Haze off is because if I clicked Scald, I wouldn't have killed, and I would have had to go into my Greninja and Water Shuriken because it outsped me. Whereas now that I got the Haze off, it no longer outspeeds me, and I can Hydro Pump because I knew that the Licky Lick would come in. The one to fire on Hydro as it comes in, rather than just a Water Shuriken, which it would eat. And that's exactly what happened. I get the Haze off, he ends up killing my Melodic. And then I go into Greninja and fire off a Hydro Pump as he goes Licky Licky, and as y'all saw, I missed, which is definitely unfortunate. Here he's going to fire off the Toxic as I decide to go into Rotom. I mean, if he's going to do anything, it's going to be Knockoff, and if he does click Knockoff, that's unfortunate, but there's not really a ton I can do about that. So here I just decide to fire off the... What do I do here? A Defog to get rocks off my side for my Charizard, because at this point I lost my 2 biggest walls, so the only way I'm winning this is just setting up with Zard and hoping for the best. And so I'm trying to get the Defog off. I clicked Defog again. That's the reason for me not to. I knew that the T-Tar would come in, but honestly that's fine with me. I am going to click the Defog here because I'm going to prioritize getting these rocks off the field. And here I knew he'd click DD. I thought the DD was extremely obvious, and even if not, my Rotom got the rocks off the field. That's all I needed it to do. So I thought it was going to be pretty free here just to click the Willow as he tried to set up, which is exactly what happens. He clicks DD, and I'm going to click Will-O-Wisp, and luckily we don't miss this time. And we're going to, of course, land it. And now this thing is burned, so it's not as scary. Still a pretty big threat, though. And now that my Brockhampton is extremely weak in my Rotom, I'm just going to let it go down. At this point, I believe I clicked Thunderbolt, but it doesn't matter because he has feeds, and he's going to click Crunch and KO. And so now I can go out into my... I believe I go into Greninja here because that's the only thing I had that outspeeds. Or it doesn't even outspeed, but I can click Water Shuriken. And this is kind of the situation I was trying to avoid earlier with my Lodic, which is why I clicked Haze. Because as you can see, he's going to go out into this, and I'm going to click the Water Shuriken, and it is just going to eat these hits up extremely well. Even though I only hit twice, I mean, it still ate those individual Water Shuriken hits really well. So, at this point, it is my Greninja, which gets walled by this thing always. My Mega T-Tar, or not my Mega T-Tar, my Charizard, and my Florges, which against his 6, which is definitely not great. The only way I think I can win this game is if I can get Zard set up. And so that's really what I'm trying to play for here. I decided to stay in Dark Pulse because I knew that he would probably just click Toxic, and because now I think he'll probably click the Wish. I think that was pretty obvious this time around, forcing him to Wish, and that's exactly what he does. I can get a free switch into my Mega Charizard, and now I am going to click the DD and just try to sweep his team. If I get up to +2, I think I can just win the game. This thing's kind of a problem, but I don't anticipate it being able to do much other than just Toxic. But as you can see here, he actually has the Dragon Tail, and at this point, the only way I really win is if I can kill that Licky Licky, in which case Ash Greninja can actually put in a decent amount of work. But I just don't think I ever break Licky Licky.
So I am just gonna run from the battle at this point because it'd just be a big stalwart to kill my team. And Zombie's gonna win 6-0. So yeah, that's game. GG to him. I mean, the T-Wave miss definitely sucked. Had I landed it, I wouldn't have had to sack my melodic to get the haze off, and I would have been able to just keep, you know, keep my melodic, which definitely walled his team extremely well, and that would have been nice. I underprepped for that Licky a lot, so that's kind of fault on me. And I mean, yeah, that's pretty much just the end of the battle. We got 6-0, definitely unfortunate, but it's fine, it's whatever. So make sure to check out Zombie and all that. Everything will be in the description below. Next week we face Lux and his Lily Cove Lapanicos. So make sure to check out that out next week. I'll see you guys then. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure that like button and subscribe. And this has been Shady, and I'm out.